Hey y'all, my name is Martin Malelu, and I'm a librarian with LA County Library. Today, we're going to talk about puppets, the history of puppets, and then we're going to do an activity that you can do at home where you can put on a puppet show of your own. So a puppet is a figure that has to be operated by a human that is used for a theatrical show. So a automated robot who performs a show would not be considered a puppet, or a child playing with a doll, unless that doll is for a show and not for themselves. The doll is not considered a puppet. A puppet has to be used for a theatrical show. A cool thing about puppets is there is evidence of puppets throughout history in pretty much any culture that has ever existed. It's not exclusive to any one particular culture or one particular time. Pretty much as long as people have existed, they have sought out entertainment, and that entertainment is easily found in the form of a theater show with puppets. Something that is particularly appealing about puppets is that one person can put on an entire puppet show. So with a theater group, you might have to have multiple people to perform one show. There are like theater shows where there is only one person, but to put on a puppet show, one person can carry the whole thing on their back. So you can easily have a traveling puppet show with only one person, which is pretty cool. So you can have like different characters and different creatures in the show without having to do costume changes or having a lot of people join in. Most puppets that we see today are 3D, so you see it in 3 dimensions, right? So we have like hand puppets, we have string puppets, which are also called marionettes. There are also rod puppets, but the kind of puppets we're going to make today are shadow puppets, and you can make those with your hand in a flashlight, but we are going to do something a little bit more complex today. Everything I've shared with you today has come from Britannica School, which is a really cool online resource that we have that you can access for free with your library card through our website. I'm going to show you here just how you can get to it. I love Britannica School. I use it all the time for pretty much anything I want to research. It explains things pretty simply, but it offers more information if you're looking for more information. It's a pretty good starting point for a lot of research. So now that we know a little bit about puppets, I'm going to show you how you can make a shadow box puppet show at home on your own using just a couple of things you might have around your house. So see, I have this UFO that I made. We've got a horse. It can go across, it can go backwards too. I can go this way. And I have a dinosaur. All right, so let me show you how you can use some stuff around your house to make this light box. To make this box at home, you'll need a box. You'll need a pretty big box. You want it to be big enough to put your arm in. You'll need a box cutter, or some scissors will work. I used a box cutter. I found it to be much easier. You'll need some masking tape. You will need a marker. You will need a piece of tissue paper. And you will need a light source. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut a hole on one of the longer edges of the box. We want the hole to be pretty big. This is going to be where our screen goes. As you can see, I've drawn out my square before I cut it. I highly encourage you to do that. You want to make sure you leave some cardboard on the sides around where your screen is, because we're going to be taping to that later. Next, we're going to flip the box over to the other side, and we're going to cut a smaller hole. I made mine still a square. You can make it a circle. It can be whatever shape you want. This is where the light's going to shine through. So you don't want it to be as big as the screen, but you still want it to be big enough to accept your light source. I could have made mine a little bit smaller, but here it is. It's about half the size of the square I made in the front. And again, I outlined it first before I cut it. With the last hole we're going to cut in the box, I have made this hole on the short edge of the box, and this is where I stick my arm through with the puppets. You want to make sure that the puppets you make can fit through the hole as well as your arm. So think about that before you cut your hole, how big you want your puppets to be and how big your arm is. You also want to cut this square or this circle a little bit lower so that when you are doing your puppet show, your arm doesn't show through as much. Once you have all 3 holes cut, you're going to take your masking tape and your tissue paper, and you're going to tape the tissue paper inside the box to the screen. So that's why we left a little bit of space around the edges of the screen, was so that we could tape this down. You want it to be as taut as you can get it without tearing it. Mine's not super taut, but it still works, as you saw in my demo at the beginning. It is difficult, but I'm sure you can finagle it. That's one of the reasons we're using masking tape for this, is because you can adjust it as needed. If we use something that you couldn't remove as well, it might be harder to place. So this is, you can see mine here. This is how I did it. Yeah. All right, so I have my final product here. There's my smaller hole right there. There's my armhole right here. And then in the front, I have my screen. All right, and let me show you my puppets real quick. So these are the puppets I made. I just made these with popsicle sticks and some cutouts that I had. But you can make your puppets however you want, and you can make whatever you want. They don't have to be this exact format. So the puppet part is totally up to your imagination. It depends on what story you want to tell and how you want to tell it. And then to get it to work, you're going to put your light in the back like that. You're going to want it to shine right through there, right? So you're gonna have it shine right through there, and you're gonna put your arm through this hole right here, and your puppet show is gonna happen right here. The closer your puppets are to the screen, the better, because they get more clarity the closer they are to the screen. Thank you for joining me today. I hope that you had fun learning about puppets and making some puppets of your own, and making the shadow box so that you can put on a puppet show. Don't forget to check out Britannica School and check out the links in the description to take a survey that'll help us out. And also, don't forget to subscribe to stay updated on the latest videos. Bye for now.